All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today we are doing Paper Pumpkin, and this month's kit is the August kit, and it is called Time for Cake. In case you didn't know, the name is on the side of the box. If you're ever wondering how to tell what box has what in it, that's how you know. And that's what I was just looking at. So, anyway, thanks for joining, and we'll hop over. As you can see, we have a couple of people on. Might have some others join. We'll see. And spotlight for everyone. There we go. All righty. So let's go ahead and open our lovely box. And of course, you have tissue paper, which mine ripped, so I put it in the trash. So we have an adorable stamp set. And I thought that this was really going to be useful for the future because it has that nice happy birthday, it has time for cake, um, lost count. That's funny, right? It has a couple of different candles, make a wish. So I celebrate. I think we're going to get a lot of use out of this. And not only that, but you get numbers. How often do you look for this size of a number? I know that I often will. Not sure why they included this little banner. I guess you could put the happy birthday, but they could have put it on the other one. I don't know. Um, but it's good to have all these numbers. And you'll notice you only have 1 6. I'm sorry, you have a 6 and no 9 because upside down, 6 is a 9. I know a lot of people question that. um, and I think that's the only other thing to note about that, but it's good to have. And it has, this is like tenth, the TH and the ND for second. So that's good to have. Okay. So you also got a Night of Navy block, which is great to use. And as you know, I use my full-size pad, but I give away all of these. But great basic color. You also get this cool ribbon. And we actually sell this ribbon in gold and silver, but we've never had this rose gold. So this is special. So we're going to use that. And then they gave us mini dimensional and probably some little glue dots somewhere that I may have misplaced. But then you can go ahead and open your package. And again, I try to keep things in order so that you can see. And when I open it up, we're going to separate our pieces into piles. So we're going to do card 1, card 2, and card 3. So I will slowly go through that and hopefully we'll get everything in the right spot. So for card, these little balloons, this goes with card number 3. Sorry, I was on the wrong page. So balloons, little tiny balloons go on card number 3. And then you can put the others aside. Next up, we have this single, oops, put this aside, sorry. Okay, we have this single sheet, and it's actually the base for card 1. Okay, so put that as your card number 1. Put the rest away. Oh, check out the envelopes. So pretty because they're all lined and they go with different cards. We're gonna put away all of our envelopes because we don't really need them. Okay, there they go. All right, this lovely piece of cake is card number 2. Okay. Put that in the middle there and get rid of the rest. And this fun piece, you'll see, opens up to extra long. Woo, can't even look at it all on the camera. Look at that. And that goes with card number 1. Put the other one away. Next card base for card number 3. It's not just plain white. It's that little petal pink with the little starbursts on it. So that's card number 3. Put the rest away. Then we have these strips. These strips are actually going to make up the cake. So you're going to punch out one of each of the 3 different designs. So we've got some confetti, goes with card number 2. We've got some flowers, goes with card number 2. And then the pink flowers, and that goes with card number 2 as well. All the rest go away, and you see you have 2 sheets of those, and that's because they always give you a little extra. We're only making 3 of each card, but you get the extras, which is always nice. And now I finally did find my little glue dots. I knew they were in here somewhere. Put that aside. Okay, next we have a bunch of punch outs. And for these, let's start with the tag. This tag is going to go with card number 1. This little banner with the little pink edges goes with card number 3. And then the pink, this is pretty in pink, and this is going to go with card number 2. Oh, why this is so hard. Okay. Double checking there. Okay. Great. And then you have a sheet that I had to pull out of my package. So this has all the fun things on it because look at how it has that little I'm going to call it copper. It's not even gold, right? So it's got that fun shine. So we're going to punch out one of each of the balloons, and they all 3 of those are going to go with card number 3. Carefully punch them out. No extras with these, unfortunately. And I would have liked. You get all those punched out. And then we have the cute little fork. And that fork is going to go with card number 2 to go with the cake. Okay, and now we come to our little candles. These candles, we need 3 candles on card number 1. And 1 candle is going to go with card number 2. No candles on card number 3. So 3 on card number 1 and 1 on card number 2. And then I was so happy to find that we have the Hooray. It's a sticker. I was so happy that it was a sticker because I was like, oh no, how are we going to do that? So anyway, this Hooray is going to go with card number 2. Okay, so don't remove it yet because it'll stick to everything. All right, how did we do? Everybody get separated nicely? Okay, excellent. And of course, we always have, you have the directions and then the little folded piece of paper. And this is going to actually fold both stamp sets. So I'm going to stick both of those in there when I'm done. But what I do is I can put my numbers in now because we won't be using the numbers. I'm just going to put that in there. And voila. Okay. All right. So we can go ahead and make our card. I'm going to tell you that cards number 2 and 3 are super easy. Card number 1 just has a couple of odd things going on it. So things that we don't normally do. So we're going to do card number 1 first. So as you can see, you're going to open it up. And before we do any fun folding, because it does have some fun folding, we're going to stamp 2 candles. We're going to use a big one. Actually, no, I didn't say that. We're going to use, there's a big one, a medium one, and a small one. We're going to use the small one and the medium one. Okay, the big one we're going to save for another time. Just a little too big for this card. Is that right? I think that's what it is. I guess if you want, you could use the big one, but I did not. So I put them on separate blocks, just a little bit easier for me to work with. If you watch the video that Stampin' Up! Puts together for every paper pumpkin and every kit as well, they show where you can lay down your stamps where you want to put them, and you can stamp them just one time. I guess I'll do it because I'm showing you how. So see how we have one here, one there. You can just lay them down and then pick them both up at the same time, and they're both on your block. You can ink them up at the same time and stamp them down. And what's nice is that each candle has a little design on it. They're pretty. Pretty. So we have some white left to make so that I can clean off the stamps right away. Even though we're going to be using just navy, I just don't want to get it all over my hands as I remove the stamps from the block. So I'm just going to remove the larger one and put that back in the little sheet right here. Because we're actually going to use this little one a bunch. Because look what it does. This little stamp gets stamped on all the little candles. So you could leave them just the way they are, but instead what they show is to ink up that stamp with little stripes on it, and you're just going to aim it for the center, and voila! It kind of looks like a firecracker too, right? You could use these. But we want to stamp all three of the candles onto the little candle. Beautiful. So once you get that done, just give me a thumbs up because I don't want to move on without getting our little candles done. And like I said, I use 2 blocks, and you can still use just one. You can remove it, but I'm going to keep my little one on 1 block because we're going to use it on the next card. And I grabbed a second card. A second block. And on the second block, I'm going to take off the Lost Count little stamp. It says Lost Count. And that goes at the very bottom here. Ink that up carefully. And then that just goes there. And that is just really super cute because it's got a million candles and then lost count. Oh, well. All right. I'm cleaning that off, and we're not going to use that one again. So that's enough on this. All right. Once we're done with that, we just have one more thing to stamp, and then we're going to put everything together. I definitely needed my glasses for that part. Now, there may be, let's see, there are a couple of extra candles. So if you made a mistake and you want to try it again, you can always use an extra from the sheet that they had given. All right, everybody good now? Okay, great. So now, last thing we're going to stamp is Make a Wish right onto our little tag. And they show it with the hole on the right-hand side. So you might want to do that. I'm going to put that onto the card front, and maybe I should have showed you the card sample. This is what it looks like when it's closed. Okay, so that's where we're using that tag. show you the inside in a second. Make a wish right there. Once we have that, we have stamped everything for this card. And like I said, this is the most complicated. It's not even that. All right. These are our pieces. And for the assembly, we are going to be using our little mini dimensionals. And we're going to be using a whole bunch in this whole in between the three. We are definitely using a lot. But on the back side of each of the candles, let's put 2 dimensionals. And then I'll show you where they go. Now, of course, you can always put them anywhere you want. I'm putting them one at the top, one at the bottom of each candle, each of the 3. And now they're going to all pop up. And the idea, let me show you, is we're going to place it on the card. Now, I'm not really always a fan of these cards where you tie them up. I always feel like I'm going to lose a piece, but they are cute when you present them. So it's going to be a fold-out card. And we're going to be putting one on the first panel, one on the third panel, and one on the fourth panel. And don't panic, I'm going to walk you through it. Okay? So I actually found it easier before I folded anything to put them on. So the first one is going to go, you can see the panels based on the score lines, okay? So you're going to put one here, and it's a very random thing. And we're going to skip the second panel because that's the inside, and it's going to end up really lumpy if we do that. So we'll put one on the third panel here, and you can put it any which way. Let me see if they show. Okay, they showed this one going this way. I'll do that. So we have one here, skip the second panel, put it on the third panel, and then the last one on the fourth panel, which I'll put here. And there you have it. 1, panel number 2, nothing. Panel number 3, and panel number 4. Easy as that. So when you get that, just give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do our folding. I found it easier to work from the back forward. That's just me. So because this is a big panel, it's the biggest panel. So you're just going to fold on the score line and fold it so that it closes, okay? So that closes. Panel number 2 is already folded for you, and it folds back like that. And then the next score line, I'm going to fold so. And the last one folds back so that everybody can see it. To me, that was the easiest way to do it. Give it a nice crease with a bone folder. And you have a little accordion. Whoa, fun. All right, simple as that. So now we're going to end up putting it onto this piece, but we have to wrap our ribbon around. So grab your cord. I'm going to call this cord, and we need 18 inches. So remember, you have a ruler on the side of your instructions. So they used 18 inches. I think I used 16 just because my placemat that I use has a ruler, and that is 8 to 16 inches, and I just use. But it's always good to have a little more because we've got plenty here. Not a problem. So we want to have this available. So you've got 18 inches with just a nice stretch. Can't even see, right? Woo! Took a little while. All right, so on the back of, you're going to take the entire thing and turn it completely over. So if you open that first panel, that's where that back panel is. So we're on the back. And this is how they show us how to do it. And we're going to go with it. We are going to put 8 of these. So it goes 1 in each corner. That's easy. And then we're going to put 4 in the middle. And what we want to do is trap the cord. So what we're going to do is make kind of like a little tunnel for the cord to go through. Now don't worry, we don't have to thread it. We're going to do it in advance and it'll all be good. You just want to kind of make it even. You can see I'm just eyeballing it. If you want, you can grab your ruler, do it that way. I don't think it's necessary. But now you've got like a little tunnel here where your cord is going to settle. Okay. Now, they did not secure it. And you can choose to secure it if you want. I did not. I like to be able to have pull, but eventually it might pull all the way out, and that might happen. So if you don't want that to happen, you might want to secure it here on the back. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to follow their instructions. And I'm going to remove all the pieces. I'm sorry, all the backing on all of the little mini dimensionals. There we go. And then I'm going to take the cord and kind of, because it's not secured, I don't have to worry about getting it exactly right the first time around. I just want it to be in between there. And once I have that, I'm holding it with my fingernails, okay, on the side. And then I'm just going to place it onto my card. Now, yep, this is upside down, and that's okay, because I'm just centering it. And I'm placing it down, and here we are. So now you can see that the cord moves a little bit, which is nice, so that you need a little more on one side for the, to make the bow nice, you can do that. But again, if you wanted to, you could secure it. But at least it's not going to run away. To me, that was pretty much the most confusing part of the entire kit. But it's really not rocket science. It's just a matter of understanding of what we're trying to accomplish there. All right. So once we have that, we are going to add our tag. And this is where I'm really terrible. I have a very hard time tying a nice tight bow and then putting a tag on as well. So this is why I avoid this kind of thing personally. But you're going to thread the cord through the hole, which it really does go nicely. I'm just going to trim it just so that it's a nicer. Goodness, it's like like the feather in Harry Potter's wand. But it reminds me of the little inside of the cording here. Here we go. And we just thread it through. And we tie a bow because we want the recipient to be able to open it. And obviously we want to be able to open it and write on the inside when we have somebody to write to. We're ready to use the card. It's not a card I want to do last minute, probably. And as you can see, I struggle with it because I'm just not good at it. I always say God gave me 3 boys and no girls because I can't tie a bow. And he must have thought that would be a waste of time for everybody. Here we go. The key to this is to tie your bow nice and tight. Did you girls already tie your bow? No? Okay. Still struggling too. Okay. So I tied another little knot. Not a double knot so that I can still get it undone, but that makes it a little easier for me. But once you get it, the key is to pull really tight. And then if it's too long, you can switch it around. You can trim it if you want. I'm not going to trim mine. I might try to do a better job next time, but I believe that is everything for this card. Let me just double check that we didn't lose any other pieces. All right. So again, that's the most complicated we're going to get. Everybody happy? All right, good. Okay, let's move on to card number 2. We'll be much happier. I'm going to be much happier here. Even though I really like the way that first card looks, it sounds a little frustrating for me. So, okay, so now we have our cake card. We are going to fold it in half, and the cake is on the front, like so. And the pink strip is going to be where we stamp our sentiment. And we're also going to stamp on our candle again. Okay. Oh, I realized we forgot something on the first card. I'm just going to show it to you. So if you want to go back and do it, you can. And I'm sorry about that, but they put this little stamp on the top of the candle on the inside. But rather us all opening our cards up again and stamping that in, you can do that later. So that stamp is, sorry about that, that is this one, this little starburst. And it just goes on the top. So when you open up your card to write on the inside, go ahead and add that. Or when you do your other 2, make sure you add that to the top. Completely forgot and made a mess. Okay. So let's get back to our card. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. So we're just stamping those 2 things. So on this pink piece, we are stamping the sentiment. It's time for cake. It's obviously perfect. I'm putting it on my block diagonally so that I have to aim. Helps me line things up a little bit. And tap, tap, tap. And it's time for cake on there. And then I'm going to take that candle again that I kept mounted onto that second block and ink that up. And just like we did on the first one, we're going to stamp the candle. So carried away with those candles, I forgot the little sparkle for the top of the others. And that is all we need to stamp on this card. The rest is just assembly. Okay. While you girls are doing that, I'm going to bring out the little coordinating dies that go with the July, August, and September kit. And you're going to see that this is the Everyday Celebration dies, and the Hooray, which is the die, the word die, is very similar to the Hooray that we have a sticker for. So if you were to make more cards that look just like this, you could use that. I always like to get the coordinating dies just to have them because, you know, a collection of stuff is always good. More is better. Right, Lois? She gives me the thumbs up. So we were at Lois's house this weekend, and my husband got to see in person her craft room and understands why I have envy. I have craft room envy. So
I just hope it was like tidy enough so that he's not like, wait, she's coming here?
yeah,
look
he
at
wanted
this
to
mess.
check it out. That was really funny, actually. Okay, so we're going to be taking, we're ready to assemble. So we're going to take these 3 strips. Now you can put them in any order you want, but I like to put the top one and the bottom one on first, and then center the middle one. You'll notice that the sides are angled. They're both angled because the cake is angled. And the way that they show to do it is to put that one edge all the way to the edge of the cake, leaving cake on the outside, as maybe a piece of cake might be. And this is a fancy layer cake with different flavors on each layer. So I've got one on the bottom, one on the top, and now when I put the one in the middle, I'll be able to make sure that the layers are even. You could always do it the other way around, do the middle one first, and then do the other 2, but this is just my preference. And here's our little cake. All right. Easy peasy. All right, so now we're going to take our candle and we're going to put it on top of the cake. We're going to use some dimensionals, one on the top and one on the bottom. And we are going to add this to the top of the cake. You can put it anywhere you want. This is about where they had it. And there's a candle on the top of the cake. All right, so next we are going to take our Hooray and carefully peel it off. Comes off so nicely. I love our stickers when we have stickers like this. They're always perfect and so easy to work with. And we're just putting that, you can put it anywhere, I guess. This is where they had it. That is what I'm doing. So kind of on the middle layer. And they had the Y go to the edge of the card. But again, you can do whatever makes you happy. Next step will be It's Time for Cake. And they put this on with dimensional. We'll go ahead and do that too. I put 2 more towards the middle. Give it a little something to balance. And this they put it straight. And put it there. This way. I don't know. This makes everything look crooked to me, to my brain, but probably because it's crooked, but this is supposed to be straight. That's a little better. Yep. And finally, we have our beautiful little fork. I just love this. And this will put dimensionals also. And one at the top and one in the bottom, the thickest parts. And I do think it's a nice touch. That little extra bit of copper, I guess. And that's the whole card. So much easier, right? All right. Great. And we'll go to work on our last one. This one has a little bit of stamping, which is always fun since, you know, we're stampers. So we are going to work with some of the little balloons. Actually, both of the little balloons. And I'm going to work with one block at a time. I'm going to use the same one that I used for the It's Time for Cake. Peeling that off. And I'm going to start with the balloon that has little flowers. No particular reason. And I'm going to grab my ink pad. So we are going to be stamping to add balloons to the piece that already has so many balloons. So we're going to put the floral ones. We're going to do a little overlapping just to keep the flow going. So I'm just going to do what they did because I think it looks very nice. They put one in the top corner and one in the bottom corner. And you can see that I overlapped the balloon next to it just the littlest bit. Okay, let me hold that up so you can see. And I like that balloon because I like those little flowers. Pretty. That's how I did that one. And we're going to do the same thing with the other balloon. I'm going to take that off and grab the little stripe balloon is a little smaller. And this little stripe balloon is going to go in the other corners. And they did it, make this one on a little angle. And then this one, they overlapped a little bit. And again, I just did what they show in the instructions. Pretty easy peasy. Okay. Next, we are going to do the happy birthday. So the happy birthday is going to go on that banner. And in order to do that, you'll notice that it already has a little curve to it. If you want, anytime you're working with these kinds of stamps, you can curve them a little more, you can curve them a little less. I found that I actually did bring the happy just down the littlest bit, but when you take your little banner, you can double check it before you stamp to make sure that it's going to fit nicely on that banner. And you know what? Let me do it like this so you can see better. Darker background and you can see through. See how that goes. Okay. All right. Right our way. So now that we have that, we can tap, tap, tap and stamp it on there. There's also a little celebrate in the same font. You could do that instead. But I do like this font. Look how dainty it is. Really thin. And I believe that is all the stamping that we need to do on this one. Okay. Everybody ready for assembly? Okay, great. All right, so we're going to take our pretty card base, fold it in half. And we are going to add this stamped layer with dimensionals. So I like to use 5. I use 1 kind of in each corner and 1 in the center. It just gives a little, you know, when you pop it up just that much, it gives a little extra to your card. A lot of times I don't do it in my cards in person. We go through a lot of dimensionals in class. I don't always do this because it's just a drain on dimensionals, but it is a fun technique. We'll just center that right on the card front. That's pretty. And then we're going to take our balloon and we are going to put some dimensionals on the back of each balloon. I put 2, 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom. So again, a lot of dimensionals on this card and in this whole project. Little mini dimensionals go a long way. And the way that they put them down, all right, the way that I'm putting them down, I'm going to take the biggest one and put it in the center of the card. Like so. And it doesn't matter which one, but you can take one of the smaller balloons and you're going to put it to the left, but I'm going to tuck this one under like so, just so that there's a little overlap there. And with the other one, I'm actually going to overlap it on top. You could do whatever makes you happy. You could even layer them side by side and not have overlap, but I always like to overlap when I can. And it brings everything together. And for the banner, we just want to put dimensionals on the side. We don't want to put it in the middle. If you want, you could put a little regular adhesive in the middle. I don't even bother. These dimensionals are nice and sturdy, but this is going to span the big balloon. So we don't want to add more dimension on top of something that's already popped up. We've already got a couple of layers going on here. So I just put it on the outside, and this is just non-adhered, but it's not going anywhere. So it looks like that. A little bit of shimmer. And of course, we need a little bow at the bottom, right? Don't we? So just taking our string, our cord, and I always like to do it right on the spool when I can. I feel like this I can do really well. The way we did the first card, I cannot do. I'm just not capable. So like I said, once you get it nice and tight, that's where you can then futz with it a little bit and then trim it and you have a beautiful bow in the end. Or you can work with it until you have a beautiful bow. Trim it. And we're just going to add it on to the card with a glue dot. So I'm going to take my little glue dot, put it onto the base of the balloon. And I like to pull off the little topper. And again, the Take Your Pick tool makes it so easy. That's with my bow just a little bit more. and then put it on, and it's not going anywhere. So that is the last card. So everything has a little bit of simmer. Looks good. So as always, I have some alternative projects to share with you. So give me 1 second, and I will set up my little slideshow. Beginning. Actually, let me share my screen first, and then I'll hit the slideshow. That'll work out better. All right, share my screen. And from beginning. Go. There we go. Come on. Come on. There it is. Okay. So now you can see some fun things that people did. Now this, they just used the strips, and they just used them differently. So this was the one, the pink strip was what we stamped on. And then these strips were from the cake, right? So they were all the same color. Now, if it was me, I would cut up the envelopes, and I would use the pattern papers from inside the envelopes for that. So that's just me. So that's Debbie Crowley. Next, we have a couple from Cindy Coots, and the way that she cut apart the very first card. And you can get a lot out of that first card, because remember that was stretched out. That had a lot of candles on it, so you could definitely do a lot with that. This one, it looks like the Hooray is from the die cut. It's a little tiny bit smaller than what we used. And she stamped the candles. And this one looks like she cut up the envelopes. The paper is from the inside of the envelopes. And then this is just using the balloons in a different way. All right, so that's Cindy. And then we have Emily Kimmel, and she used this one. And I like the way that she added a few more balloons to kind of give it an oval look, as opposed to trying to fill in the corners. She just used regular twine in the middle. And this paper is from the envelope, the background paper. All right, so this one is a gatefold, not a gatefold, a Z-fold card. And so she cut it apart, which is always fun, and then mounted it onto some Moody Mauve. And then used it again here. And then she made this a pop-up card where she must have fussy cut out the cake and made it on a pop-up, an easel. So I thought that was really clever. This is Karen Titus. Really like that. This one's a little blurry. This is Lynn Dunn. If you are looking for details for this, this is from her video, because she had so many clever cards. So I wanted to give you an idea, but if you look up Lynn Dunn, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you would see she has videos for each of these. She does like a whole series. So you could always look her up. But you can see she also cut apart that first card to a lot of pieces. Boy, when I put it on my big screen, that really looks blurry. Doesn't look as bad in my PowerPoint presentation. All right, so here we go. We have another person who cut this out. This is Maureen. And she put little gems at the top of those, which is great. And again, I believe the card is actually the navy. The pink is just the background that she photographed it on, but still looks pretty. And here it's just that card front where she cut it down and then layered it onto coordinating cardstock. She's stretching out. She must use the back of the card for something else. And this is Melva, Stamping with Melva. She's a Canadian demonstrator, and I love a lot of the things that she does. And here she used the whole panel from that that accordion fold, and then just put it on coordinate cardstock. This stripe is the inside of one of the envelopes. Very fun. This one also is from a video, so it's like, we see. And so she just mounted it onto another card. So it actually opens up. And so you don't have to untie it, I guess, if you don't want to, but that's where the fun is on the inside. So anyway, that's Susan Fields. And then this one, very simple. How easy is this? I
So
thought,
cute.
boy, we could make a ton of these. And they're fun and handmade, and they have a little bit of glitz. So it doesn't have to be fancy and crazy. So there we go. So those are 10 different people, what they've done with the card, or with the kit. And I think that's what I had for today. So I'm going to take off my glasses. I always, I'm a little self-conscious about my reading glasses being as funky doodle as they are. Better than my pink round ones. So many different pairs. But anyway, thank you for joining. Ladies, do you have any comments that you want to make on the kit?
No,
Which one's your
very
favorite?
cute. Ooh, favorite. Well,
Mhm.
I'm not usually a balloon person, but I really like the balloon one.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
And I like the cake, and I think all of them are great. I think this is an amazing kit. All the
Yeah.
stamps, the
Yeah.
number stamps especially, and all the sayings and the one we used. I think it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's very versatile. We're going to use this way beyond the kit. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining, and for everyone watching on replay. I appreciate it. And we'll be back next month with the next kit. So thanks for joining. Take care, everybody. Bye.